Hello, my friends. So today we're changing things a little bit, microphone-wise. My little thingy, which the handle that holds my microphone actually broke right before filming my video. I mean, the last few videos that I've been filming have all had something going on to them. Like that time in which I was filming the liveries and I had to film it 3 times before it could actually work out. Today, my microphone broke, and just a little heads up, fellas, I don't really know when I'm gonna get a new microphone, so you might be seeing me like this for the next few videos. Anyway, let's just talk about why we're actually here, which is the Drive to Survive Season 5 review. I don't know what you guys think, but in my opinion, this has been the most realistic season yet. We had seen so much drama and a lot of overacting in a way. Not that I'm saying that the drivers would act to be in Drive to Survive, but everything was just a little bit exaggerated and a little bit more dramatic than it should have been. This season, we see a much more real Drive to Survive. And so far, this has been my favorite season. I am just loving everything that happened and basically seeing every single driver in the season. Of course, we don't see much of Vettel, but for whomever already watched it, at the end of the season, there's like a mini cameo of Vettel in which they ask him if he will actually miss Formula 1. And for those of you who haven't seen it, you're in the right place, my friends, because today I'm going to be giving you Drive to Survive Season 5 review. So let's start with the first episode, The New Dawn. Everybody's still remembering Abu Dhabi 2021.
Is Verstappen far enough back? He's going to make the lunge down the inside. Hamilton sees it coming. It's a late lunge by Verstappen, who takes the lead of the race. Verstappen.
And I mean, who can forget? That's literally my slogan of life. Something that I can't get over. Abu Dhabi 2021. Toto Wolff finishes the 2021 season by saying, everybody has a target on their back next year. I would really love to deepen my voice because his voice is kind of like Terminator, I'll be back. Oh, it kind of came out. Everybody has a target. No, now it's not coming out. Okay, well, anyway, you get it, right? And then the season starts with the star of the show, of course, Gunther Steiner. It turns out Gunther and Mattia Binotto are besties. And, well, not only that, but Mattia Binotto is a winemaker. What? There's a little close-up on each driver, and it turns out Lando has a girlfriend. Right, this was before we all actually knew he broke up, but what can we say? They were filming during the whole year, and Lando broke up at, the half of the year or something like that. I mean, the highlight though, even Stefano Domenicali, the CEO of Formula 1, is in the show. We can see a bye-bye Birdie or bye-bye Nikita Mazepin, and hello, Kevin Magnussen. K-Mag is back. Let the drama begin. Episode number 2, Bounce Back. I just love this name. It's like, well, bouncing back. Lights are out and away we go. Season 5 is here with Netflix and your server Manena Manatu. It's actually really funny. The episode starts with a girl telling Toto Wolff that she actually named her dog after him. Awkward? Not really. It was hilarious. There are new regulations and there's completely different cars. Lewis Hamilton is trying to take back that championship that was, well, according to many people, stolen from him. The cars are not that great though. There's a lot of porpoising, but because the cars are much closer to the floor, this means that a lot less air passes by, and this can make the cars faster. There is trouble in paradise for Mercedes, and Toto complains to the FIA about the porpoising. But honestly though, this is actually really dangerous for the drivers. Episode 3, Matter of Principle. Here we talk about my beloved Ferrari. Carlos and Charles' relationship is just absolute gold. And a little fun fact, Carlos and Charles is actually the same name, just that one's in English and the other one is in Spanish. And then we see a little about the Miami Grand Prix for the first edition ever. Romain Grosjean is here, and he starts joking around that he's a DHL driver. Ferrari's strategies, though, are bad. Miami, Come on. None of the two cars of Ferrari pitted during the safety car, but we can also see a little bit of light for Ferrari. Carlos Sainz getting his first pole and his first victory in Silverstone. You could have imagined my happiness. Oh, and let's not forget, stop inventing, guys, when they tell him that Charles Leclerc has to overtake him. Yikes. Episode 4, Like Father, Like Son. And as you all guessed it, this is about Mick Schumacher and how he just doesn't want to give up. A lot of people commenting on this episode, like Will Buxton for example, say that Mick really does have a big weight on his shoulders, especially after being compared to someone as grand as his father, 7-time world champion Michael Schumacher. And I mean, with pure reason. But Mick is actually a talented driver. He became Formula 3 and Formula 2's world champion, but is that enough for Formula 1? Mick Schumacher tells us that he wants to be like his dad in Formula 1, and that whenever he's feeling down, Sebastian Vettel helps him on a bad day. There's a lot of trouble in paradise for Mick though, and they're already looking for a new driver for Haas. We all know that for the sponsors that they have, they actually want any driver and a German driver. So it was actually Kevin Magnussen, the one that came up with the name of Nico Hülkenberg. Episode 5, pardon my French. Otmar Schaffnauer leaves Aston Martin, but he looks quite happy with Alpine. As we all know, the world is full of good and bad guys, and Fernando Alonso seems to be very content on being a bad guy. As he says, he is on the dark side. There's this whole battle McLaren versus Alpine, not just for the 4th place, but for their driver, Oscar Piastri. As soon as Fernando Alonso announces his retirement from Alpine to move into Aston Martin, Alpine quickly went to post that the reserve driver at the time, Oscar Piastri, would be joining the grid in 2023. Oscar Piastri bounces back and he posts that without asking for his permission, they actually posted the news. Oscar Piastri eventually ends up going to McLaren, and Otmar Schaffnauer is thinking about suing him, until finally he goes like, you know what, it's not even worth it. His karma will be being in McLaren. Prophecy. Episode 6, nice guys finish last. It's very interesting seeing how Christian Horner and his camping buddies discuss Oscar Piastri's future. Christian Horner actually regrets not having signed Oscar Piastri when he had the chance. He believes Oscar Piastri, and I believe the same thing. I've been saying it for a while, but I'm not famous enough as Christian Horner, so nobody would actually believe me until Christian Horner said it. So now nobody's gonna believe me because he already said it, so now they're gonna think that I said it because he said it. Okay, anyway, that Oscar Piastri is the next Max Verstappen. I know, I called it first. Dibs. Did I speak fast enough? I've always wanted to speak kind of fast and I've never really been able to do so, but I think I just did. Well, okay, so now Oscar Piastri and Mark Webber are buddy buds. They go for a run, what I believe is in Monaco, and well, they're both Aussies. So Mark Webber, of course, starts giving Oscar Piastri a lot of advice. Daniel Ricciardo, which is, I believe, whom the name is in honor of this episode, announces his retirement, and this is when Oscar Piastri decides to leave for McLaren. Otmar is, of course, flabbergasted, or as George Russell would say, gutted. But he's also quite surprised about Oscar Piastri's disloyalty. Another reason why Otmar decided not to proceed with the lawsuit is because he's now much happier with Pierre Gasly. He believes that he's an even better option for the team. 7th episode, the hot seat. So Christian Horner seems to be a little bit Team Max, and Jerry Halliwell, his wife, ex-Spice Girl of course, seems to be Team Checo. This year, it's all about Ferrari versus Red Bull. But this episode is more than anything about Checo Perez and how he has a hottest seat in Formula 1. A seat that could or could not be his if he doesn't perform as desired by the Red Bull team. Checo's seat is basically a seat that almost no driver would say no to. But who's it gonna be for? Well, you guessed it. Every driver dreams about winning Monaco, and not every driver can do it. Actually, almost no driver can do it. but Checo Perez did it. This gave him extra points with the team and made him sign a contract extension with Red Bull. Episode 8, the Alpha Male. As you guessed it, it's all about Alpha Tauri. We have this whole bromance going on between Pierre and Yuki. It's actually one of the most beloved relationships in Formula One. But, as we all know, Pierre Gasly is about to leave Alpha Tauri to go to Alpine. Yuki Tsunoda will actually miss Pierre Gasly very, very much. As Will Buxton says, he is a diamond in the rough and a very wild driver. Pierre Gasly actually gives him a lot of stability, and he treats him like a little brother. He's always giving him advice on how he can improve and how to behave, of course. Even though Yuki Tsunoda is not a rookie, his attitude is definitely of one. This episode is also about giving a warm welcome to AlphaTauri's new driver, Nick DeVries, his first season in Drive to Survive without being a Formula One driver. 9th episode, Over the Limit. I mean, these names, guys, the names of the episodes this season are just intense. Red Bull has been having the best season they've had in a while. But there's also drama in paradise. Have they reached the budget cap? Christian Horner claims they have not cheated at all. But all of the team principals seem to be against Red Bull. Therefore, they're constantly talking to the FIA about how Red Bull has breached the budget cap. As Christian Horner likes to say, the best way to become unpopular is to win. And that's absolutely true. Either way, after a long process of investigation, turns out Red Bull does have to pay a fine. This could actually cost them the championship. But all is well since Red Bull becomes world champion during the Austin Grand Prix. And last but not least, we have episode 10, End of the Road. As we all know, every season of Drive to Survive ends with Abu Dhabi, so here we have Abu Dhabi 2022. A constant battle between Ferrari and Mercedes for second place, Alpine and McLaren for fourth. We all know how that ended. Lewis Hamilton's car stops mid-race, therefore there's no way that Mercedes is going to beat Ferrari at the constructors. As in for Alpine and McLaren, they don't really say the results, but we all know Alpine ended up fourth and McLaren ended up fifth. But for next season, meaning this season, there's a lot of change with the drivers and the teams. Starting by the fact that Daniel Ricciardo is gone from Formula One. We sure are gonna miss him. Him and Gunther Steiner were definitely the stars of Drive to Survive. I don't know about you guys, but I do think that Daniel Ricciardo might make a special appearance in the next season of Drive to Survive. Even though he is a reserve driver, he was the star of the show, as he said. Should be Daniel to survive, and boy it should. Anyway, what did you guys think of season 5 of Drive to Survive? Don't forget to comment down below, because I would love to know what your favorite moment was. Also, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and see you again next week on another episode of Girl Talks Formula One.